Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing good. Now today I've got a very special guest. I'm joined by Shubham who has been on my channel before and I'm just excited. I love your scarf by the way. Absolutely amazing. And yeah, I think we're all just feeling quite buzzing after that amazing 5-1 win against Bolton. But first of all, how are you doing?
Doing well, so far. Thanks a lot. It's been a while chatting to you, and good that I'm chatting to you after a very comfortable game. I think we have
Yeah.
had a pretty tough few fixtures, especially away from home. A
Yeah.
nice one to have at home against Bolton, lower league opposition. But yeah, fantastic result for the boys.
It's nice for us to kind of just relax because I
Yeah,
think, like you said, we've had a lot of tough fixtures, coming our way. That Man City one was, quite a lot for the team, and this one it was really nice to see as well. The young players have a chance. I just wanted to get your initial thoughts on the lineup as well because I honestly wasn't really sure what Arteta was going to do. I mean, the goalkeeper situation is another one which I wasn't sure because I know Neto was cup tied and we have a few injuries and we didn't want to risk playing Vira in this game. But what are your thoughts on the lineup and what Arteta did, with the players that he chose today?
um, uh, I think it was a good lineup.
Yeah,
I was watching your preview yesterday, and I was wondering why are you not picking Neto on goal? And I understood. Oh, he's cup tied. Okay, so that's very interesting. But yes, good to get a initial glance of Potter. We
yeah,
can see that he has potential. It's just that you could see all the youngsters were very nervous today. Obviously it's
yeah,
a packed house. The touches which they were taking and the passes which they were trying to actually make didn't have the weight that usually players have when they are confident. But yes, overall, I think a couple of good performances, especially from Nichols.
yeah,
Back in the right back position. I think he was the best youngster for me. I know Ethan got the two goals for us, but
yeah.
the right back position, the player really played well.
Yeah, I think there was like so many positives to take, like you said,
Yeah.
especially with the young players, and it's just really nice because it's hard for them to sort of get chances in other
Mm,
games that, you can't really risk really playing them in, in a Spurs game at the start. I mean, I know we've seen Ranieri before a little bit, but I think
yeah.
as well, Lewis Skelly had a great game, and it's just really nice to see these young players have a chance. And I think this was the perfect game for me, for them to come into. I just wanted to say big up to Rookie Cookie, and pity Ranieri didn't get a hat trick. Yeah, no, I was
Yeah.
rooting for him, but I think he had a good amount of minutes to play, and I think as well we had like a good amount of experience as well. Obviously, Jorginho played, Rice played, and I think it's obviously good that they had that experience just in case
Mm,
anything might have gone wrong. And we did really well. The young players, obviously did really well. A question here, what do we say about Jesus, and would you start one there against Leicester? First of all, yeah, I'll ask you first about Jesus because for me, I feel a bit like disappointed that he might have not made the most of this opportunity today.
yeah.
Because there were quite a few chances that he had, and it felt like Sterling was someone who made more of the chances. And I felt a bit disappointed with Jesus. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're playing as a striker and your team has scored 5 goals and you're not on the score sheet, that's surprising. This
Yeah,
was this was a perfect opportunity for him to at least get a couple of goals. You don't have to start every game for Arsenal. He's coming back from an injury. He's down the pecking order in the Arsenal team sheet now, right? Havertz starts for us as a center forward. So would have really liked, because I was kind of waiting when is Jesus gonna score, because everyone is scoring except him.
yeah,
And everyone is trying to place themselves at the right positions, right time. But and a couple of touches from him look desperate. You could see that he's forcing it a lot. Heavy passes, heavy touches inside the box, and he actually couldn't actually score He tried a bicycle overhead kick in the first
Yeah,
half, which was blocked. But other than that, I don't think he looked sharp though. He was making some moves inside the box. He was playing really well alongside Saka on the right wing. But yes, he couldn't score a goal, which is a shame. You want
yeah.
Jesus on the score sheet.
Yeah, I think, like you said, he did have good moments, but I think he didn't really probably execute his chances enough. But I think as well, I think we've got to really see him a bit more to see what he can do as well in the Premier League because I know
Yeah.
his injuries have been a big setback for him. But yeah, I do agree that obviously we would want to see a bit more from him. He had some good chances. Another part of the question was, would you start Wanyeri against Leicester? What would you do? Would you start him?
No, I don't think Arteta
Yeah,
will
I don't
start
think.
him, right? It's too early for him. A couple of goals, great for his confidence. I think you can see that he's the next big thing for coming out of Arsenal, right? There's a lot of buzz around him. Made his debut at around 15 years, youngest player to ever play in the EPL. But you can see that there's a player there, but not for the big games right away, right?
Yeah.
I just hope we don't get any more injuries. I saw Lewis Kelly getting injured today. He had to come out. Hope he's okay. What a pre-assist by him, though. You remember what a goal. I mean, the pass to Sterling and then he passed it inside the box. He looks like a player too, the left back.
Yeah.
And I know he can play in the midfield too, so he looked really promising too.
Yeah, I think with like Ranieri, I think this game against Bolton, like you said, is great for their
Yeah,
confidence. But I think that Leicester at the weekend is going to be a different game, and
yeah.
I don't think they're ready just yet, and I don't think it'd be right to just throw them in the deep end. Obviously, if we're doing well, we can always bring him Lewis Skelly on, and maybe a few of the younger players to have that chance. But I think this game we sort of knew that we could have that opportunity to
Hmm.
throw these players on and know that it'd be okay because we had the experience as well playing. But yeah, I do agree. I think Ranieri's obviously got a good future at Arsenal, but I think right now, you have to sort of go with the lineup that we probably would usually, have without Odegaard. And I think it's just exciting to see what they can bring to Arsenal. And I hope Lewis Skelly. And then we went off a bit, and he obviously played a lot today. So I hope
Hmm.
he can, hope he'll be okay. I hope that he'll be all good. And I wanted to ask you about Raya as well because obviously I didn't expect Arteta to play him personally. I know he didn't have a lot of options, but I know Arsenal tweeted as well that he had a thigh injury. Do you think that's more of a precaution for the weekend to maybe, not have him have a rest today and play him at the weekend?
I think so, yeah. So one thing we all, I think, should agree that the Manchester City game took a lot out of all our players.
Yeah,
Most of our players had a lot of cramps. Most of the players really gave it their all, especially after the sending off. We couldn't play the way we wanted. We defended throughout the whole second half, and I could see that most of the players were not 100% at the end of the game. So I think with Raya, and I have not seen any announcement by Arteta to in the press conference
yeah,
regarding any player being injured, right? I thought Gabriel was injured slightly, but he came on today, right?
yeah,
And I have not heard anything about Timber too. So there's no confirmation of any injury. I think it was very much needed to get in a young goalkeeper and get that start in. 16 years, jam-packed stadium under the lights. What else do you want? He was a bit skeptic on a couple of touches. You remember, he just passed it to a Bolton player that could have
yeah. It could
actually
have
ended up
cost
in the
us. Yeah,
goal, and it would have been 3-2, and you never know. But thankfully, he just conceded one, and even the one which we conceded was, we were all attack. There was no defense, and they actually scored. But overall, I think he had a good game. A couple of good punches, clearances from the box, a couple of good catches. Overall, he looked good, and obviously, we had an experienced defense. To be honest,
yeah.
Califury and Kivior doing well.
Yeah, I think we had to defensively have a few players in there. I did expect Calafiori to play. I mean, I know he had
Yeah.
cramp in the game, but I thought we would probably bring him in for this game because we did need that experience. Kivior as well. I
Hmm.
expected him to start really because he's not really has a lot of game time. I know we saw him in the Man City game, but I think this was the perfect game for him because it'll help him with his confidence too. But I do agree about the goalkeeper. I think he's so young, and I think that's obviously an amazing moment for him. But I think as well, I mean, I think when we're 3-1 up, we're not really bothered because at
Hmm.
that moment we know we're gonna win. But I think if it was like 1-1 and then they scored, it would be a bit of a different story. But I think it's really great to see these players get a chance, and obviously we've got obviously a lot of Premier League games coming up, but
Yeah.
do you think we'll see more of these young players? I mean, like we said before, we won't obviously start them unless it's maybe, I know, the fourth round of the Cup, the FA Cup, we might see them in them games, but do you expect Arteta to play them a bit more?
Not all of them. I'm really gutted that Lewis Kelly has got off injured. I think he looked like a good player. Um, and uh, Ethan, I think we'll see more of Ethan
Yeah,
coming off the bench. Even in Premier League games and Champions League games, I expect him to at least get those brief minutes for Arsenal. But one player which whom I would actually look to see more often is Nichols. I think
yeah,
he looked like a player there. I just hope that Arteta at least believes him and gives him a couple of chances in the FA Cup.
yeah,
You know, now I don't know whom we are playing in the next round of the Carabao Cup, but I think he's a good player. He just needs that confidence. That he does the overlapping runs. He's passing the ball well, and he's not afraid to make those one touch passes. With the likes of Jorginho and Declan Rice in the midfield. So looks a confident player. I really hope that I can see him a bit more. But overall, I don't think. I think this was the perfect game for the youngsters.
yeah,
After this, there's no guarantee. You never know. Even today, if you see, I didn't expect Rice to start,
yeah. I
to
was
be really
surprised at
honest.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jorginho I expected, but I thought it would be Partey over
yeah,
Rice.
me
But
too. Yeah,
yeah, but it was surprised to see Rice. He scored a goal, which is good. Again, he missed the game because of suspension, which is fine. But overall, if you look at our team today, it was pretty experienced too. Kivior, Califiori,
yeah,
Jesus, Sterling on the wings, and Saka. So it was quite a strong team, to be honest. And the result showed that. So Bolton couldn't handle us.
yeah,
But it was good to see that Arteta ensured that we had the rotation on. We could see couple of new youngsters coming from the bench. I didn't know we have a Maldini in the team. We can play him in the defense, but yeah, it's good team. Yeah,
yeah, I think this was like the only game that we've had this season that you could really
yeah.
throw the young players in. And obviously, like you said, the fourth round coming up, I think that we'll know tonight sort of who we get. But I suppose that if we get a tough team, you couldn't really start
Mm.
them again. But it's obviously it'd be great for us to get a team, whether that's in the championship or a different, League Two or League One. I think it'd be good to have another one of them.
Yeah.
I think like obviously I don't think we've never taken the cup game seriously. I think we always have, in a way. I just think we've got a bit more of a squad depth this season. Like, and obviously, I'd want a striker and I want more players in, but we can afford to have that rotation. Do you think like this season we'll have a good cup run? I know obviously the FA Cup for me is probably the one that I prefer, but obviously at the end of the season, it's about what trophies you win. And I know if we won, obviously, this trophy, it would be, really important for the team.
Yeah, see, I've been following Arsenal since 2008, and I've never won the League Cup.
Yeah,
I am absolutely baffled with the fact that we have never won the League Cup. I mean, we have won so many FA Cups, right?
yeah,
Um, and I would also not say that we have not taken this
hmm
cup seriously. Is sometimes a bad night and we just get out of the cup. I still remember we lost the finals against Birmingham City. I don't know if you remember that. There was
yeah,
a Koscielny mistake, and Martin scored the winning goal. So um, I just hope. It's interesting when you say that we have a depth. We have quite a depth in the team. We have depth, but we have injuries too. Most
Yeah.
of our rival fans, if you see, they will say that we have a very thin squad. I think we have flexible players like
Mhm.
what we saw today, Califury and Kivior managing the center back place, right? So we have that flexibility, and I think at this moment of time, every Arsenal fan thinks that we can win every game.
Yeah.
I think we have that confidence. I think you agree with me, right? Even if it's a Manchester City, Liverpool, I think Manchester City, if it's an away game, we would try for a draw. But at this moment, I think every game which we play, we are a play that we can win. So I would expect
Yeah.
that a good cup run and maybe winning at least the League Cup or the FA Cup. One of the cups should be our targets this time.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's so hard as well because with the league, we could do the same last season, fall a bit short at the end. And if that would be the case, we do want to have like an FA Cup or a League Cup or both. You just don't know. We're good enough to do that. But I think with our squad, like, I think without maybe Marino, Odegaard being injured, our squad looks a lot more bigger. Obviously in the attack, I think it's a little bit of an issue if we're
Hmm.
playing maybe a bigger side. You know, we don't have the options that obviously Man City can throw on Foden. They've got Holland, like they've got a lot more options. But I think when our players are back, you know, will be good. And I think that puts us in a better position. But I think I wanted to speak on Sterling a bit because obviously we've not really seen much of him up until this
Hmm.
game, and I felt like it would be nice for him to have this chance today. And I was really happy Arteta decided to play him. And yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on his performance because I know when he arrived, some fans weren't really over the moon, but I think today was like the perfect game for him to start in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he is patient. He has been patient since he has joined us, right? He is not getting the starts. He didn't start against City, didn't play the game. He's a big match player, right? It's just that things have not quite worked for him at Chelsea in the later stages. Uh, but yeah, England international has a wealth of experience, has played for multiple English clubs which are big, right? Starting from Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, now Arsenal. What a CV to have. In the beginning of the game, I was thinking that most of the attacks were happening on the right hand side where
Yeah,
Saka plays, but then the game moved on, and you could see the combination between Skelly, Rice, and Sterling coming up, right? And I think it was a great game for him. First start for Arsenal, first assist and first goal. What more can you ask from a left winger, right? So yeah, if you're doing a player rating, it's definitely an 8 or 9 for Sterling. As you said, perfect game for him to start, show what he can do, and I would want to see him more coming off the bench in the coming games. I think there is a player there, and he can definitely help us with some goals, especially in the
mhm,
attack. There was one chance which he took outside the box. It was a
yeah.
great attempt. It was blocked by the keeper, but I think those are the uh, type of attempts which we need because there are not many players who shoot for us, and I think Sterling and Rice, these both can do that.
Yeah, I think with like Sterling today, he gave everything, like
Yeah.
especially that second half. Like, I think it's really good. I know it's like Bolton, don't get me wrong, but I think from next games, I think obviously Leicester coming up. I think, whether he starts or not, I think
Hmm.
he's got confidence now. He's got a goal, and he probably should have gotten a few more if he wanted to, because he just really worked his socks off today. And I think that's what we want to see from our players. So I'm really excited for that. But with our like left hand side, like who would you say should be our starter? Because obviously Trossard's sort of been playing in that Odegaard position. Martinelli at the moment obviously isn't been able to score, but he's sort of his performances haven't been bad. He's just not been his end product has been a bit poor. I know Sterling's obviously started today for the first time, but who do you think should be our starter on the left hand side?
Um I think looking at our situation and with Odegaard out, I would start Martinelli. Now,
Mm,
don't get me wrong. I understand that he's out of form. He has not been bagging us the goals. He's short of confidence and all of that, right? But looking at our situation currently and how Arteta is thinking, I think he is trusting Martinelli a lot right now, you
yeah,
know, and especially with Odegaard out, he's not taking the risk of fiddling in or bringing in Ethan in the midfield and having experienced players on the bench, you know. And to be honest, I think Martinelli was great against City. You know,
yeah,
I think his performance was great. He ran his socks off. He gave Kyle Walker a lot of problems, who is again a very experienced right back. So I
yeah,
think Martinelli is the guy. He came on today, didn't look so bad. So it's just yeah, we are all waiting for his goal. I think we are used to seeing Martinelli score for us. It's not happening. It's been a while, but let's give the kid a bit more chance. I think he needs the confidence from the fans too, and the trust from Arteta is there. So I just hope he gets that goal. Maybe Leicester, you know, good game
yeah.
for him to get in.
Yeah, I think with Martinelli, like you said, I think the season has just started really. There's only been a
Yeah.
few games, and I think we've got to sort of see at the end of the season, we can sort of have that conversation if he's maybe not scoring or if he's struggling. But I think I do agree. Like I think that game against Man City, like the second half, obviously none of our players could really attack, and they all just had to. Collectively as a team defend, but that first half, I think he worked really well with California as well. I think they have a great partnership too. And I think, yeah, Martinelli for me, I'd probably pick him as a starter right now.
Yeah.
And obviously, when Odegaard's back, I think Trossard's better as well. Was
Yeah.
like a substitute. For some reason, Trossard has more of an impact off the bench for some reason.
Yeah.
When he'll play like a full, 70 to 90 minutes and he's not able to do as much. But I think Trossard's definitely like a good option to have from the bench.
But if you just look back, even when Odegaard was fit, Arteta was picking Martinelli over Trossard. You know,
Yeah.
so I think even Arteta thinks that Trossard is an impact player more than a
Mm,
starter, and we have seen that, right? You remember Aston Villa game? Trossard
yeah.
came in, goal. That's it. You know, I think
Yeah.
he's such a nice player coming off the bench, such a great player to have on the bench, right? We are very lucky to have him. But yes, to answer your question, as of now, we go with Martinelli,
Yeah.
and just hope that he can bring in a couple of goals for us, maybe in the next game.
Yeah, I think Martinelli's definitely going to be our starter, and I think the Leicester game is going to be a good game for him because don't
Yeah,
get me wrong, every game, is a
it's tough. Yeah.
different task, and I think because we've had Man City and Spurs, we've had quite a heavy fixture. I think going into this game, I think it would be a great game, and that's sort of why I was hoping
Hmm.
Martinelli would start today, just because it could, if he gets a goal, that would help him. But I think the lineup today, like we said, it's been really good to see the young players start, and I'm really, really hopeful that obviously we'll see that more. And obviously, I wanted to speak a bit about Sterling and Saka because I thought today, they had a great partnership. Obviously, Saka got that assist and put a great cross in the box. I mean, do you think we'll see more of them together? Because obviously, Saka we know is our starter most games, unless
Hmm.
he's got an injury. We know Saka's going to start, but do you think we'll get to see more of them play together? I know Havertz is up top as well, and I just think like that's going to work really well.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. How much are we gonna see Sterling? As we just discussed, right? Martinelli is gonna start. I think he has got the trust from Arteta.
Mm,
But today we saw that Sterling on the left can be equally dangerous, right?
yeah,
He has the pace, he has the agility, he has the movement, and he can cross the ball into the box, right? So
yeah,
and a couple of combinations with Sterling and Saka, which we saw today. I think they have a good brotherhood among them. That's what I could see, a good relationship, mutual respect for each other. So yes, Sterling is here for a loan, and
yeah,
our job is to maximize his strength as much as we can. So he
yeah.
basically has to push us on winning the title with his experience. I think Arteta will be very shrewd of using him, but I expect Sterling to coming off from the bench more than being a regular starter, unless
Mm.
we have injuries, you know.
Yeah, I think as well, like when Sterling was playing for England in the Euros a few, years back, I think he's obviously got that experience as well with playing with
Yeah,
Saka, and I think that's obviously going to really help him. But I think unless we have injuries, I completely agree. I think Sterling's probably going to come off the bench, and that's obviously it gives us more options. Like you said, we've
yeah,
got injuries, and it's going to help us. But equally, if he did start against Leicester, I wouldn't complain. I think it'd be good
yeah,
for him
exactly.
to, yeah, like I'm not really bothered, like as long as we win, I'm not really bothered like who gets that chance to start. But I think most of the time we do sort of see Martinelli, and obviously we hope Martinelli can, obviously his confidence can come back, and like what we said, Martinelli is obviously doing good, and I think like Man City, how we performed, I think if he continues to keep it up, I think he's going to do really well. And um yeah, I feel really happy as well, and obviously California as well. I think he's grown in a lot of confidence, and you saw that, today. I think it was good for him to get minutes, especially in this competition. And I feel like defensively, we've got so many options, and I
Mm.
think we're quite fortunate now. We can rest Gabriel, we can rest Saliba. Like Gabriel, for me, definitely deserved that rest, like you said, against Man City, emotionally, physically. I think
Yeah.
it took everything out of them, especially when we conceded at the end. So I think it's so crucial right now that we are giving these players like Timber as well a rest, because Timber has obviously had a big injury, and he's been like a really important part to play in this team, and I think he needs this rest, and I think it's really good right now that we have this sort of rotation in the defence. So yeah, I think that's obviously really good. I just wanted to read out this. Does anyone know if we still avoid teams in Europe in the fourth round? I don't actually know, do you?
In the Carabao Cup, is it?
I think so, yeah.
Um, I'm not sure. We'll have to look at the draw. But again,
Mm,
uh, I'm confident of facing anybody. You know,
yeah,
I think that's where the team is. We should not be fearing anyone. I think Liverpool won their game against West Ham today. They
yeah.
were trailing, so I was just hoping one big fish out
Yeah.
of it, but no, they won.
Is there a
They won
team,
their game.
like, what team would you like to face in the next round? Because, like you said, I feel like whoever we play, I'm
Mhm.
confident in our ability. Obviously, Man City and Liverpool, you don't really want to face them right now, but I feel like if we did, we know that we'd put a good fight up, because we know we want to win silverware this season.
Yeah. To be honest, again, I would like to see our youngsters a bit more.
Yeah,
So for that you need a weaker opposition, right? But I wouldn't mind a Brighton or a Leicester who won yesterday.
yeah,
I think that sort of game would actually help us. I don't want a big game right now because we are
yeah,
playing a lot of big games. PSG is coming up, right? So a lot of big games coming up. And just to touch back on the Sterling topic, we are not worried if Sterling starts ahead of Martinelli because the gap between the two players in terms of quality is not that much, right?
yeah,
If Martinelli starts or if Sterling starts, I think they offer pretty much the same. I think Martinelli provides a lot more pace,
mm,
but I think Sterling is very dynamic as a player, and he with his experience he can create more. You
yeah,
know, so yeah, this season I think Arsenal in terms of our bench strength, the
mhm,
gap in quality is not that high. But remember, we had players like Nketiah, Reece Nelson, Smith Rowe, Tavares, all of these
yeah.
players, right? The gap in quality was too much.
Yeah, I think like obviously like we said, defensively I think we've got a lot of options, but I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of it this season does depend on injuries as well, because Man City right now obviously don't have the luck. Rodri's out, and this could happen to us at any time. So
Mm.
I think we've just got to make sure these players do stay fit, and obviously January will come up, and if we need to bring anyone in, obviously we'll do that. But I think in attack, I think it would be good if we had a few more options. Like you said, I think Eddie leaving was probably the right thing, because he wasn't
Yeah.
playing, and I think for him in his career, he needed to get minutes. And obviously Smith Rowe's gone doing amazing at Fulham, but
Yeah.
I think in January, if we are needing a bit more reinforcement in that attack, I think we definitely need to do that. Wookie Cookie said Preston. I'd take Preston. That'd be a good game, to be fair. I remember we played them a few years back. It might have been in the FA Cup, and I think we won 2-1. But I think, like you said, it's a great point that I think for these young players, it's just them getting more minutes, more experience, having these chances. Like today, it would have been amazing for them to play at the Emirates in front of that big crowd. So, yeah, I don't mind who we have coming up. I'm pretty excited to sort of see how far we can go. I mean, I know some Arsenal fans aren't a massive fan of the Carabao Cup, but for me, it's a trophy, and at the end of the day, it's about what success you have at the end of the season. So let's hope we can do it. And fingers crossed. I'm just excited to see who we have. I think we'll find out very soon. But I just wanted to thank you so much for coming
No
on
worries.
today. It's been being good to chat about this game. Honestly, feels amazing having that big win. I think we all need this. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
No worries at all, Soph. Always pleasure to be here. And yeah, good luck for the upcoming games. A couple of big ones coming in. And the good thing is a couple of home fixtures coming up. So
Yeah,
I think we can get the ball rolling again. I know we had a couple of draws against Atlanta and City, but yeah, let's get those home wins and uh, points on the board.
yeah, definitely. Obviously, this win for me, I think, would definitely help us. We've got Leicester coming up, and I think we will have a big season ahead of us with all
Yeah.
these games, but I think this is probably a good time for us to like for the team to relax a little bit and make these changes to the team. I mean, Leicester will be a tough game. Vardy is never easy
Oh
playing
yeah.
against him. He's that player I'm thinking he's going to cause us trouble. But yeah, I think obviously we'll find out tonight as well who we do have. And I'm just hoping we've not got like a Man City because it would be a
Yeah,
I
that
feel
would
like
be a
it's gonna
spoiler.
happen. Like it always
Yeah.
happens to us. So
Is
let's
is the
hope.
draw tonight?
I don't know. I think it might be later tonight.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah, so we'll be able to find out. And yeah, I just honestly hope that it's not anyone like Man City. But thank you all so much as well for watching this as well. It's been
thanks a lot.
absolutely lovely to do this. But yeah, guys, don't forget to smash the like button, do subscribe, and yeah, have a lovely evening, guys, and I'll see you all soon.
Thanks a lot.